Hello, friends. It's Pastor Don, and it's time for this week's episode of PD on Pop Culture. Today, I wanted to talk to you. Well, actually, I'm going to start off with a scripture verse, and this is from Genesis chapter 1, verse 21. It's from the English Standard Version. And it says, "So God created the great sea creatures and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swam, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind, and God saw that it was good." Now, this is obviously from the creation story in Genesis. But I wanted to touch on that because I'm not going to talk about a movie or a TV show or anything like that this week. I wanted to talk about something else. When I was a I was a kid. When I was a kid, my dad taught me something. Trained me in something that has been a part of my life pretty much ever since. I'm off and on, maybe not had this in the house. But for the most part, I have kept fish. I'm an aquarium hobbyist, if you will. Not seriously. I mean, when my dad was young, he was in competitions. He raised fancy guppies and won shows with his fish. I was not that person, but I like to have the fish tank in the house. It's serene. You know what I mean? It's they're attractive, and sometimes you just sit there and watch the fish swim, and it's quiet, it's relaxing. But that's the thing about fish, isn't it? At least about tropical fish, about keeping a fish tank in your home. It is this self-contained habitat, right? If you put live plants in there, even you've got the plants, you've got the fish. Sometimes you can get other animals. I've had African frogs, and I've kept lizards in a terrarium. So, but it's sort of this self-contained habitat, but it's not a self-maintained habitat. It requires your care, right? It requires you to work to keep it something that keeps the fish alive. Because if you don't do regular water changes, then you have a situation like I've had in the past, and I'm dealing with in one of my tanks right now, where you put fish in there, they die. And so you've got to basically restart the whole tank. The tank crashes, if you will. But that's a lesson, isn't it? It's a lesson that, for instance, my boys are learning, that there's this cycle to life and death. And, the fish don't live forever, and sometimes they die because daddy wasn't taking care of them. But it is it's this reflection of God's creation, right? That we, and maybe there's a little bit of pride in that, I'll admit, that we sort of, build this tank, and we've populated this tank, and so we take care of this tank, and the fish are dependent upon us, and you kind of feel like, maybe you're something, but that takes work. And then I guess it just reminds me that, we're all called not just to work on, the things that maintain our homes, but to work on building God's kingdom in general, right? That we're called to be a part of the bigger creation that God is working on in this world. So I guess that's my challenge for you today, is how are you a part of what God is doing in the world? How are you helping to change the world into something better instead of something worse? Anyway, that's what I got for you this week. I hope you're all doing well. Take care and God bless. Bye now.